when you look at the high school talents that Jamaica has produced over the years, and let's just stay with some of the ones that recently left school, high school. Let's say a Christopher Taylor. Let's say an Akeem Bloomfield, right? And you look at their performances in high school, and you knew then that these youngsters were good enough to make it to the world stage. Christopher Taylor and Akeem Bloomfield were running world-class times in high school. But as you just said, Gregory, no one was grooming them to transition from the high school level to the professional level. So you see now, after being overworked in high school, they were just let go and they went on their own. Luckily for 2 years, Akeem Bloomfield ended up at Auburn University. But I don't even know what happened after his first 2 years at Auburn. He abruptly left school and he went pro. Christopher Taylor left Jamaica hurt, went to Florida, he went pro. So they were just thrown into the doghouse, as they would say. So go fend for yourself now. So something needs to happen. Because I've always said that the high school system in Jamaica, to me, is like a farm system. So you're developing all these young talent, but all you're doing is just developing them to win boys and girls championship, to me, and then you let them go. Something.
Well, many.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Gregory.
Yeah. Well, many people have issues with that.
Mm-hmm.
For one, we can look at what is going on in the high school at the high school level, and we can say that they do have a program in place that get the athlete from point A to point B.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody is going to dispute that. But what we have a problem with is how these same athletes, why are they not able to transition into the professional arena with the same fire that they displayed when they were in high school?
Mm-hmm.
And nobody seemed to want to address that issue.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we are talking about it today because we are saying that, and I am saying that with the post-Usain Bolt era, the coaches who were in charge ought to have acquired and accumulate enough knowledge, but nobody seemed to be using this knowledge to help the sprinters. Now, I've said it in one of my previous videos that networks is important. It is never about the physical activity alone. It is about the information that is being disseminated. It is about the support base. It's about the support group. And we find that these young athletes, they lack proper networks. They lack the proper support. They lack the proper guidance. And they also lack the proper leadership. And we are saying the evidence is clear. We saw where over 30 sprinters came out of high school running exceptionally well. 5 years later, we can't find none of these guys on the circuit. We can't find none of these guys making any major championship. We can't even find some of these guys running personal records. You know, in track and field, success is measured in several ways. One, by winning championships. Two, by running fast times. Three, by running personal records or season best. And four, by consistency.
Yes.
How long you have been in the sport. Raymond Stewart was in the sport for over 20 years. Merlin Ottey was in the sport over 20 years. Veronica Campbell was in the sport for almost 20 years. We have even Kellyanne Fraser in the sport for almost over a decade.
Right.
So we are saying that we are not seeing in any way where these young athletes are meeting these four criteria where they're not making championships, they're not winning medals, you don't see any form of consistency, you don't see good personal records. So it is fair to say that our athletes are failing. And I am saying that in order for them to be the best version of themselves, those individuals who are leaders need to step up and put programs in place. And I've been saying this for years. They need to put programs in place to protect the athletes from themselves, to protect the athletes from coaches with ego who want to prove things to the world and not to the athletes and Jamaica on a whole. They need to protect these athletes from sponsors who are exploiting their talent. They need to protect these athletes from all the different things that we're talking about. But we don't see any one of these leaders stepping up to the plate to say, look, we have a problem. Let us address this problem before it gets worse. And I can tell you, 3 years ago, today, it has gotten worse.